which One Nation will support. The Criminal Code Amendment, Keeping Australia Safe Bill 2026, amends the Criminal Code Act 1995, the Criminal Code. The bill inserts a new offence into Part 5.5 of the Criminal Code to criminalise the organisation or facilitation of the entry into Australia of certain persons who have engaged in terrorism-related conduct, unless these actions occur with the prior written permission of both the Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Minister for Home Affairs. The offence applies where a person organises or facilitates the entry into Australia of another person from a foreign country, and at the time of organising or facilitating the entry, the other person has engaged in conduct constituting an offence against subsection 119.21 of the Criminal Code, namely entering or remaining in a declared area, or another terrorism offence as defined under the Crimes Act 1914, or 2, the first person knows that the other person intends to engage in conduct constituting an offence against subsection 119.21 or another terrorism offence before entering Australia, or the other person is or has been a member of a terrorist organisation. They're the three criteria. The offence does not apply to conduct in which a Commonwealth authority is engaged or to conduct on behalf of a Commonwealth authority, which lets Minister Burke off the hook for facilitating the return of ISIS brides. I'll say that again. Which lets Minister Burke off the hook for facilitating the return of ISIS brides. And the bill extends the sunset date for the declared areas regime in sections 119.2 and 119.3 of the Criminal Code from 7th of September 2027 to 7th of September 2030. These amendments are intended to ensure that decisions concerning the repatriation to Australia of persons who have entered or remain in declared areas, who have committed any other terrorism offences, or who are members of terrorist organisations occur with appropriate Commonwealth authorisation. The return of the wrongly named ISIS brides inspires this legislation. The term ISIS brides is, of course, a misnomer. So-called Australian ISIS brides are women who travel to Syria of their choice and Iraq to join or marry fighters for the Islamic State group, often referred to as the Caliphate. These women were involved in hijrah, emigration to the Islamic State, as wives and mothers to breed the cubs of the Caliphate and to support jihad efforts. ISIS propaganda itself targeted Western women with roles as supporters, militarised mothers and wives, or, when needed, even became fighters. They are not brides. They're Islamic terrorists who travel to a war zone, a prescribed area, to fight against the West and fight against Australia. They encourage their men to kill and do other unspeakable things. They brainwash their own children. Yet we're supposed to bring them back here and what? Condone their behaviour? There can be no condoning of the treachery they've committed. This bill will not stop their return per se. It will force their return into the open, where the voting public will be able to clearly see that the Labor government was responsible for their return and the people who will hold the Labor government accountable. That's what we want, openness. For clarity, Labor did that, return them, through an intermediary from the Muslim Brotherhood, a device that Minister Burke thought would insulate the government from the fallout coming from returning these terrorists. It did not. It did not. Western countries allowing in or back in terrorists committed to overthrowing our way of life and installing Sharia law has a name. It's called suicidal empathy. Let's quote one of Minister Burke's ISIS terrorists who, while in Syria, said this, quote, attack US, Australia, UK, kill them, stab them, poison their food. Charming. Really charming. Suicidal empathy indeed. These women went to a war zone in Syria to fight a war for the Caliphate against Australia. Syria is now a Caliphate. Their side won. So why do they want to come back to Australia? Are Caliphates not as appealing as Australia? Now that's telling. Or do they aim to help make Australia a Caliphate? As I said yesterday, Shadi Al-Suleiman is President of the Australian National Imams Council and mentor to Wissam Haddad, the ISIS cell leader who radicalised the Bondi terrorist Naveed Akram. Al-Suleiman has released a video in which he promises, quote, Islam will enter every home in Australia. And he does not mean to do your dishes. He means to convert you to Islam, or else. Australians have every right to feel afraid of people this government is bringing in. The government is bringing these people in. To these female terrorists we say this: you got what you went over there for, you made your bed,